Hello my friends, this is Jeannie. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. In this video, my friends, I am going to introduce to you the journal I will be working on for a little bit. This journal is very much inspired by my recent trip to Italy, where I visited Venice, Rome, Florence, and Vatican City. I am super inspired and very much motivated to get this journal done because I have so many pictures and mementos that I would like to centralize someplace. So I really want to get this journal done. And also my brain is going to explode if I don't get this project out of my head. I want to do this so badly that I am jumping it ahead of a project that I'm already working on. I have been working on this project. It's an Edgar Allan Poe theme journal. I have been working on this one for a little bit, on and off, and right now it's off. It's off because this one is just banging in my head, rattling around, screaming to get out. So we're going to let it out. I'm going to put this one to the side. I'll share that with you at a future date. So, some thoughts on this project. I want it to be a soft cover journal. While I was in Italy, I kept an eye out for anything that can work as a journal cover. And what I found was this amazing, I think it's supposed to be a placemat. I don't know. It has very much a tapestry vibe to it. When I saw it was perfect. I found it in Pisa when I was visiting the Tower of Pisa. And I thought it was absolutely perfect because when you fold this in half, on the one side you have this beautiful image of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, as well as the other buildings and structures that I visited at Pisa. I couldn't tell you their names, my friends. I just don't have the capacity to remember the names of all of these beautiful churches and structures that I visited while I was there. The cover is going to be this beautiful placemat. I don't know what else to call it. It feels really nice. The other side is not quite finished. So I thought what I would do is add some batting on top of it just to make it a little just more squishy. I like squishy. I like soft. I just wanted to just feel full. And then on top of that, I'm going to use this Tim Holtz fabric. This, I believe, is a recent release for him. I think I have the name of it. It's part of the Eclectic Elements Substrates Embark, and this one is called Correspondence. Here's the information. It is a great weight, heavier than his typical fabric. It just feels really nice and it's perfect. It matches one of the digital kits that I am using. I do have to figure out what I want to do for a closure. If I can find some ribbon in my stash that matches this and goes with the vibe of this journal, then I will take a piece of that and layer it between the different layers of the cover before I sew it. That way it will be super secure. So I do still have to give the closure some thought. But that is the cover. Digital kits, I'm using 4 digital kits. They are all mixed up here. I don't think I can tell you which is which. But what I can do is list them down below. 4 different kits. I couldn't decide which to use, so I decided to use them all. Because I am using 4 different kits, they're not exactly matchy-matchy, but I think I can make them work. I printed them on double-sided photo paper, and once the printing was done, I trimmed off all of the white borders, inked the edges using some distress ink. In this case, the color is Ground Espresso. That was a good one. Also, by using that same color on the edges of all of the pages, it just helps to create a little more cohesiveness. I think I'm going to use some stamping and some embossing glaze to create a more cohesive look with the journal. If it works out, fantastic. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But let me share with you. There will be 3 signatures, one for Rome, one for Florence, and one for Venice. These are the 3 pages that I selected to be the covers for my signatures. They are all lined. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. So pretty, pretty. And I think the ground espresso on the edges is just fantastic. It looks great. I think I printed a total of 12 pages. Each signature will have 4 of these pages. I'm going to try to distribute them so that I have a little of each in each signature. I mean, you can see the difference, and you'll understand why I say they're not so matchy-matchy. This is one kit. Clearly, this is a different one, right? This is more muted, more vintagey. This one's much more vibrant. You even have, it's a lot of oranges in that one, in this particular kit, which I think I'm going to struggle with a little bit, but I decided to try it anyway. I like this particular kit because of the stamps. It matches the cover, the inside cover. That Tim Holtz fabric. Here's the Tim Holtz fabric. Okay. You can't see it so much on this page. Let me find a different page and I'll compare to this one and show you. This is that Grungy Lace Volume 1. That was a huge, that's a huge digital kit. I think it had like over 24 pages. I went through and just selected 12. Here you can better see the stamps. And now hopefully you get why I chose this fabric for the inside cover, because stamps and more stamps. So doing my best to work it so there is some cohesiveness in this journal. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's my personal journal at the end of the day. As long as I'm happy with it, that's all that matters. But I would like for it to be a little, some cohesiveness. Those are the digital kits. And then for paper, I decided to stick with muted colors. I have some doilies. These are coffee stained. I think this color will go well. That seems to work with that. I think these are going to be used to either create pockets or tags. I have some specialty paper. I have 3 different types here with different textures in kind of like the gray blue family. I think that will work well. Coffee dyed paper. I have 3 of those. I have this more pinkish paper. I'm not sure what this is dyed with. No, I do know. Avocados. Avocado skins. Yeah. I don't know if these are the ones I did myself or ones I purchased. I purchased papers from small businesses, mostly on Etsy, just because I like to support. So I'm not sure if these are ones I made or these are ones I purchased. Considering how evenly colored they are and just how beautiful, like it's very well done, I'm gonna go with I bought these because mine tend to look very amateurish. These look very finished. So I have 3 of these. Now this I know I did myself because I used food coloring. I have 3 of these. This is just dyed copy paper. And then I have a bunch of different Tim Holtz fabrics here because I really want to add more texture and fabric elements to this journal. It's something that I always want to do but never take the time to do. with journals that I make. A lot of the times I have thoughts and ideas in my head of what I would like to do. Then for whatever reason, I rush through the project, never taking the time to do those things. And I recently started thinking myself, why are you rushing through the project? What's the deadline here? There is no deadline. If I can just work at my pace and do what I want to do, add the elements I want to do, even if it requires a little extra time, then I'll be happy. So one of my goals for this particular journal project is to be intentional, to take my time. It takes as long as it takes to finish this journal. It doesn't matter. What matters is that everything I see in my head that I would like to see in this journal actually makes it into the journal. So that's something I'm going to be very deliberate about. I don't know how long it's going to take to finish this journal, but it takes as long as it takes. I think back on all of the journals that I made, and the one journal that I always think back on as being my best journal, the one I'm most proudest of, it is my Frida Kahlo journal. And I am proudest of that particular journal because I took so much time to make it, and it has every single element that I wanted in it. It has fabric, it has buttons, it has papers, it has envelopes, it has flips, everything, because I took the time to make sure that what I was thinking translated into something in that journal. I need to go back to that because there's no reason, no good reason, no real reason that I should be rushing through these journals the way I do. And I want this journal to be in that same league as my Frida Kahlo journal. So I'm going to be very slow and deliberate about it. I'm going to share with you just different aspects of it, different elements, some of the ephemera, some of the envelopes. Anything and everything I can share with you, I will share with you, but it's going to be a process, and I'm going to be okay with that. I'm going to be very intentional for this particular journal, just as a reminder to myself that it's not a race. Take your time, Jeannie. Take your time and do it the way you want it done. So I pulled all of these Tim Holtz fabrics. I have tons of Tim Holtz fabrics. I thought all of these colors, any of these colors, the blue, I don't know. So most of these colors would work well with the digital kits, and definitely would work well with the cover, as you can see. So that's what I'm thinking in terms of the journal itself. Let me also share with you some of the stamps that I want to use. This one is Creative Muse CMS 046. And for this one, I like this. Live the life you've imagined. I would like to use that as a sentiment somewhere in the journal. Here's another Slight Alterations CMS 060. I love the scratchy, grungy vibe here. I want to play around with that, maybe. Then I have Mini Classics CMS 062. I love the postage right here. I love the flourishes. I think it has a little bit of an Italian vibe to it. Then I pulled this sentiment set, Simple Sayings CMS 155. Hello friend, one of a kind, live every day, tell your story, dare to dream, life moments, enjoy the journey. I thought any of those would work well in the journal. This particular one, I love this stack of luggage here. This one is called Time Travelers CMS 157. This one is called Marble and Doily CMS 184. And I love the doily right here. I think this works, especially with the, it's another way of bringing in more of that vintage lace vibe that one of the digital kits already has. So I think that'll work well. Some frames, label frames, CMS 264. I think this will work too. Brushstrokes, CMS 293. Again, I have some ideas on how I want to play with these brush strokes and some embossing glaze. Some borders. Can never have too many borders. This one's called Ornate Trims CMS 326. Want to use that. And of course, Stamp Collector CMS 338, because the fabric, right? And also the digital kit. You have to. Fragments is another one of my favorites. This one is CMS 368. Just the architecture that I saw with my own eyes. It was just amazing. It very much reminds me of many of the architectural elements and details that I saw in a lot of these churches and old buildings. And then another sentiment set. This one is called Noteworthy CMS 446. So many good ones here. Live Your Story. Best Day Ever. Lost and Found. Just so much fun here. Can easily use any of these sentiments in the journal. So as you can see, I have plenty of stamps, my friends. Plenty of stamps to work with here. And then, of course, there are all of the other mementos that I brought back from Italy. I have some paper bags, though I don't think I will be able to do anything with these paper bags in my journal. What I really want to use are the postcards. I didn't bring a lot back from Italy, but what I did bring back, I was very deliberate about, and I focused mostly on the postcards because they're just so beautiful. So every region that I went to, I made sure to grab a postcard. So these postcards will find their way into the journal. Isn't that beautiful? That's the Trevi Fountain. I mean, to see it in person is amazing. It's the Colosseum. Again, to see it in person, oh my God, my friends. And the Spanish Steps. To see it in person. I walked up those stairs, 137 of them, in case you were wondering. Thought I was going to have a stroke. I didn't. I made it. But certainly coming down was a lot easier than going up. It was humbling. Let me know I wasn't exactly in the best shape. And then I have this envelope just filled with different maps, receipts, brochures, paper bags, just so many different things in here. Tickets to the museum. I went and I saw the Statue of David, my friends. You don't even know. That's been on my bucket list forever. And when I finally got to see it, I just got so emotional, like unexpectedly. So I was not expecting to be so emotional, not like ugly crying, sobbing, but I did start crying. I'm not gonna lie. I started crying. I was just like, I couldn't believe that I was there looking at the Statue of David with my own eyes. It was absolutely amazing. Amazing. That's all I have to say. So, I mean, that's my plan for this journal, my friends. That's what I'm going to be working on for a little while. I am going to share the process with you as often as I can. I think that's all for this video. I thought maybe I would start working on the cover here, but I don't think I can because I don't have the ribbon yet for this. I have to look through my stash and figure out what that closure is going to be. And as I said, I'm going to be very deliberate. I'm not going to rush or do things just for the sake of filming. I'm going to do things that are going to make this journal one of my top 2 journals in my personal collection of journals that I've made. So hopefully you'll join me for the process, my friends. I look forward to seeing you. And until then, my friends, bye-bye.